So anyway, look, it's preparing to go live. That's okay. I scheduled a live event, but at this point in time, we're not going to pick it up properly. But that's all right. All righty. So let me just move these around a bit. Hold on one sec. All right, guys and girls, we are good to rock and roll. We are good to rock and roll. So we are live across here. I'm going to give you a screen. So let me just go through all the mechanics of doing what we do. We have a lot of work to do today. We have a lot of work to do. So let me bring you through to screen number 4. Let me bring through screen number 4. And what I love to do, guys and girls, if I can, I just want to double check for those that are in the live trading room with us that you can definitely see my screens. All my feedback is telling me you can. And if so, good afternoon, Steve. Again, Jiz, how are you? Hope you're fantastic. Right? You had a blinder yesterday, so let's see if we can keep that going today. Okay, well done. Well done, well done. Thank you. I hope you guys are well. Yeah, no, it was good. It was a very good day. It was a very good day yesterday. So let's see, guys and girls, let's see if we can do the same. We're going to do the same. So we'll start, guys. We'll start on time. Jürgen, how are you this morning? Hope you are fantastic. For those of you who are live on YouTube, guys, and you might be watching the recording on YouTube, my name is Lockie, guys. I'm the lead trader at Samurai Day Trading. I'm going to be taking the European Open live trading room for everybody today. So if you are on YouTube, guys, you do want to join us 5 days a week, then please get in contact with Samurai Day Trading. Now, guys and girls, let's break it down if we can. We're going to get we'll get to the business end of what we do very, very quickly today, because there's a lot of stuff to think about. So first and foremost, my CPI figures came out last night in the US. They were very much appreciated by the stock market. What does it ultimately mean? The S&P 500, that black arrow at the top of the screen there, S&P 500, that is the highest the S&P 500 has ever been. Right, so that is literally the 2025 all-time high. Not only is that a massive magnet to price, but there's a couple of things going on above that, guys and girls, which are going to be really, really good fun today. Now, I suggest actually straight up as we come into, for the S&P 500 traders who trade in the pre-market, you've got an absolutely beautiful static bar reversal just here. I should have to use a body or just above the body entry in order to grab that. And you would be like we were doing as yesterday verbatim, Fibonacci up to catch them on the way down. That's a perfect 76 catch just here. That was absolutely brilliant catch. So some of the S&P 500 traders, you may be long already, guys. You may be long already if you trade the European pre-market. Now, guys, in mentioning that, it's quite a good point that was brought up last week. As the European pre-market is only the European pre-market for the Europeans. This is currently at the moment, guys, open season for the S&P and NASDAQ traders. 24035 long and shorts. Yeah, Steve, mate, I've got a couple of levels on NASDAQ as well. That guys, I'll tell you about. Diane, how are you? Hope you are fantastic. Young MJ, hope you are well, mate, recovering. I hope that's all going well. So, guys and girls, what we'll do, S&P 500 first. Again, what we do want to take note of is that little blue line across the screen here. That is the old all-time high, guys. The old all-time high for our S&P 500 traders today. That is basically our make or break level. If we close above that and we hold above that, then we're probably going to go long. A lot of the sentiment globally is really, really positive. Now, what we're suggesting today for the S&P 500 traders, again, guys and girls, if you are, again, I can't stress enough, if you are a Fibonacci retracement trader, you've picked up this little static bar reversal long, you may be long on that trade already. Now, based on your volatility, top left-hand corner, based on your volatility, you'd be looking for a 4-tick target, an 8-tick target, and then whatever you can get. And obviously, that's already gone through its 4s and its 8s if you are a static bar reversal trader. Now, all-time high, guys, are the old all-time high. That's the make or break point. Guys, we're going to do one of 3 things today. We're going to just basically muck around basically these all-time highs. Okay, so again, that would suggest that Europe's basically going to go nowhere. I don't think Europe's going to do that, guys. I think we're actually going to have quite a good day on the European markets as well. So what I want you to do, guys, please do watch the all-time high. Please do watch the all-time high on both US markets. Now, we've also got to keep a very, very close eye. Let's keep a very, very close eye on the Fibonacci extensions. So the first port of call, guys, if we do get a really lovely long, guys, if we do get through, this is the all-time high that was created literally in the last 24 hours. If we do close above that, guys, our first port of call is with the 133 extension. As a lot of the bigger traders out there in the world are basically suggesting that the S&P is going to move through quite happily to the 150 extension, guys. So 6484 is where we are likely to go to. Okay, so very, very high probability, guys. If we get up here, we're basically going to fade away. The buyers will run out of steam here and we'll turn it around and bring it back the other way. Okay, so a couple of key levels on the screen for you here, guys, for the S&P 500 traders. What we do want to look for is, again, if it's literally just occurred, as we were talking about it, if we do get a seller pullback to this zone, guys, so the Fibonacci is created, if we draw them up to catch them on the way down, guys, if we do get a pullback, which we've just had, we might get another pullback. Guys, don't be surprised if we get a second pullback. If it's more powerful than the first, I'd suggest the sellers are just going to take over and we're going to collapse. If we get a shallow pullback, guys, and they get back down around this pre-bottom, guys, we would be looking for that static bar reversal long. All right, for those that are not aware, static bar reversal is a mathematical algorithm running behind the charts, effectively telling us when to look for trades. All right, so for the S&P traders, let's keep an eye on all of that. Now, for the NASDAQ traders, we'll go full screen. Guys, let's go full screen for you guys. Again, a lot more work to do here, guys, on the NASDAQ. What I would suggest straight away, guys, there's your all-time high. Guys, there's your all-time high. One thing I do want to draw to your attention is the incredible accuracy, guys, of this 161.8 fib extension. That basically maps the high point where these guys ran out of steam and then they turned around and reversed. Guys, that literally occurred this morning on the NASDAQ. So what are we looking for? What are we looking for? For the NASDAQ traders, please watch 24,000. Now, I know it seems like a long way away. Guys, 24,000, mind you, is only up here. It's a round number. Guys, it's a very, very serious magnet to price. Guys, there's no doubt about that. Right? Really, really serious price magnet. Now, if Europe decides it wants to run to the high side, Lorna, how are you? Hope you're fantastic. If we do want to run to the high side, guys, again, if we close over the all-time high, let me give you a little rectangle there. Just to remind everybody, if we do close over that level, guys, then we're literally just going to grind and grind. Now, one thing I do want to highlight, guys, S&P versus NASDAQ. Guys, the S&P 500 is only mucking around. I'll show you this to quantify exactly what I mean. Okay, so I'll go full screen again on the S&P. As we've got at the moment, the S&P 500 has basically tried to cruise up and romance its 133 extension. Right? So the 133 extension, right, as a direct comparison to the NASDAQ. As the NASDAQ is sitting just under its 161.8 fib extension. Okay, 161.8 fib extension, which is right here. So what it means, guys, what it means is we are likely to get a very, very early sort of buying push on the NASDAQ, as it's highly likely to get caught on that 161.8 extension and fail. But there's got to be a caveat on that one. Because the S&P 500 is approaching its 133, it may not be ready to reverse yet. The NASDAQ is clearly going to try and reverse without the S&P 500. So what we've got to look for, guys, today is we've really got to look for the NASDAQ traders. Ideally, we're going to be looking for permission from the S&P 500 because there is effectively a Fibonacci disconnect between the S&P and the NASDAQ. The S&P 500 is going to win that battle based on the rule of three and also based on volume rules. Okay, so for the NASI traders, I think we're going to pick up some really lovely trades. Flip side is we've got to be really, really careful as how we do it. Now, couple of things, guys, for the NASI traders, 23925. So 23925 is a 4-hour short. Now, why is this important? Guys, why is this important? If the buyers do push up on the European markets, which we'll analyze shortly, if we do push up and fail quickly, then if the sellers grab the NASDAQ and the S&P 500, understanding we are just shy of record highs, if they do grab them and run, guys, if we get a decent campaign, they're going to trigger these 4-hour shorts. Now, we've got a 4-hour short on the S&P 500. We've got a 4-hour short, guys, also on the NASDAQ. Guys, so again, we could end up, guys, with some really, really robust shorts. Guys, exactly what Steve said, guys, if we get, we're looking at long-range longs, we're looking at short-range shorts. In fact, I did say the 3 scenarios we're going to get today. Guys, either we basically grind to the high side, we literally just grind and grind and grind, and the key will be, guys, the key will be efficiency, guys, so long, strong candles, which will be amazing. Guys, or second scenario, we basically get a push up, guys, towards the open of the market, that turns around and fails badly, and then we come back down, but then we get stuck around the 50 of the day, we get stuck around the all-time high, this kind of stuff. Guys, so that's the old all-time high. So for the NASDAQ traders, that is your all-time high right there. And yesterday's high, that is basically the old all-time high. So 2 scenarios, guys. We either start grinding to the high side. We've got our long-range targets in place for that. Guys, if we spike early and fail badly, so if the buyers spike and fade, guys, we're going to come back down and basically muck around these pivots. If they're really serious, guys, about selling, so if Europe decides it wants to tank, we've got to watch these 4-hour shorts, right? Now, for the experienced traders, guys, again, my comment for the NASDAQ traders today, primarily, guys, we're bullish. Ultimately, what does it mean if we're going to be staying above 239.06? Yes, Giz, brand new one. So that's the highest they've ever been. Guys, if we stay above 239.06, guys, we're looking for a break and close above 239.46, which is where we're currently right now. Guys, and that means you guys have got 2 targets to the high side, 239.67, which we're trading through at the moment. Our next one is 239.89. 239.89 is up here, guys, and hey presto, it's right next to that 50 fib. Guys, it's right next to there. So we're starting to get, guys, we're starting to get to really, really amazing long-range target zones for the NASDAQ. But with a massive but, if you don't mind, as the NASDAQ today does not agree with the S&P 500. So the S&P 500 may need to fatigue before we pick up the big shorts, right? It might need to fatigue before we pick up the big shorts. Now, flip side of all of that, guys, for those that love sort of historical signals, let me just double check here. Okay. There is that little static bar reversal hiding in there, guys. That one there, that -2 rated SPR. We may be looking to short at that level. If the buyers were to push up and get absolutely annihilated, guys, we're going to be shorting there. I would suggest if we get a very, very shallow seller push down and they get stuck, guys, I'll just put these circles on for you. They're all SPRs. Guys, I would be targeting that SPR right there. Guys, so obviously, as I mark that up for you guys, we're talking historic signals. That's going to be a long. Obviously, this one over here is a short. You guys know what you're doing. If we do come a little bit lower, guys, we need to draw Fibonacci to reinforce all these trades. I'm going to go for the 4-point turning bar long, guys. Can everybody see that 3-rated little candle just there on the left-hand side? That is a very, very strong long, right? So, it's so strong, it basically sent the market back the other way. So if we were to sell down very, very early, guys, and get stuck at Fibonacci's, and Europe was to do a similar thing, then we're looking at longs down here, which could actually be quite good fun. All right, so for those that don't know how to do that, particularly if you're relatively new to what we do, I will do my best to guide you in and out of those. For those that know what they're doing, you're going to be all over it. Now, guys, the secondary bias for the NASDAQ today, guys, if we get rejected, guys, around about the 239.67, so 239.67 mark, now I would suggest if we get up around about the 967s, guys, or even the 990s, I reckon they're going to try and touch 24,000 just because it's there. As if we do get an early push up and we get a fade away, so the buyers actually fail, guys, we're going to go short. If we trigger that 4-hour short that I've already mentioned to you there at 239.25, as then we're looking at 238.82. Okay, so again, the key level for the sellers, if we break below 239.06, which is a little while to the downside, but they can get there, guys. So Again, you're wondering where all these numbers are coming from, guys. That 133 fib extension. If we break below that, guys, we're going to go for basically 23882, then 23845. Or like literally all the way down the bottom of the jar kind of stuff. All right, so we are, guys, I do think we're in for an interesting day. Let me just double check the volume as we roll in. So key volume level 46,000 at the moment. So the volume is rising. What we will have to be careful of today, guys, what I'm going to do is move these charts around. I'll get rid of most of those really big comments. We'll move them off. We'll move them off the side of the chart because we won't need them. We won't need them. Only if we break hard. Either way, are we going to need those? So we'll just get rid of that. We know all about that level. As key point, guys, key point, my humble opinion. Again, the less information you have on your chart. All right. Now, all of these, obviously, look at that 161.8. That's just incredible. Some of you may be shorting off that 161.8 on the NASDAQ already. Guys, again, if you trade the pre-market, guys, just set your targets towards your volatility, or set your targets as per volatility. For the Europeans, guys, we typically don't trade. My favorite market over here, we typically don't trade during the pre-market, just because if you're going to get caught on the wrong side of the market, guys, it'll happen during the pre-market, which is what we're going through right now. So a little bit too much Fibonacci on here, guys. So I'm going to strip some Fibonacci back for you. Let me strip some fibs back, and we'll have a look. We'll effectively have a look what these guys are doing, and then we can build it as required. So FDAX, guys, I've got a really, really brilliant, guys, really brilliant short zone here from the 60-minute chart, which is, as you guys know, it is one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite reference charts. As for those that are with Samurai, I've just written you a guide on exactly how to read, guys, the 60-minute chart. I'm currently fleshing that out for you with chart images, guys. So you're about to get your guide this week on how to get funded and stay funded. Guys, next week, you're going to get your 60-minute chart trading guide. As the whole intent behind the 60-minute guide is to actually steer you on how to read the 60-minute charts before the session starts, so you can make really educated decisions about where the long-range trades are going to be, right? So the big ones, the sort of the really lovely trades. Naturally, they're the ones we're after. So, guys, at this stage, primary bias again for the Europeans, guys, we're bullish. If we stay above 24,100, which we currently are, guys, again, we're looking at 24,228. I can't believe the accuracy of this. 24,228, which is literally right where we're trading now, and then 24,322. So the one that we want to basically keep an eye on is, so let's say, I'm going to put it all the way up here. So May target. You can tell this is live because I can't type properly, right? So 24,322. So guys, if we get a really powerful bull run, so like a buying run on the FDAX today, again, being a fan of Fibonacci, guys, we're going to get caught on these greens just here. There's no question. Many days ago, guys, we were getting caught around this 133 extension. Before that, we're getting caught at the 100 extension. The bigger traders out there in the world, guys, think we're going to 24322, which is right there. Okay, let me just have a look where that is in the spectrum of the daily chart. Oh yeah, that's not far away at all. That's okay. All right, so I think we're in for a bit of volatility, guys, which is good fun. All right, so guys, secondary bias. So again, guys, if we don't just literally start buying and start grinding to the high side, and it's going to be absolutely amazing. If we don't do that, guys, ultimately 24042. So 24042, that is a very big correction. Guys, 24042 is all the way down here. So basically what they're suggesting is if we return to the 50 fib, guys, off the daily chart, these guys are going to collapse. Now, from where we are right now, that is a very long way. Guys, to put that into perspective, for most traders, guys, on the FDAX who are just starting out, guys, that little box there is a 5-point box. That is your daily KPI. Right, so you only need to get the market to move that far in your favor to actually start moving in the right direction. may I suggest it's going to be pretty easy to get the FDAX to move that far today. All right, so we certainly don't lose sight of our KPRs. Guys, that being said, my last point for the FDAX, and then we'll go back, guys, and we'll look at the FESX 24270. Guys, 24270. And we bring the arrow down there. That right there, guys, 24270 is a magic long range target. All right, so what we're looking for in that case there, what we're looking for is effectively the OSR, guys, effectively the OSR to be established. Whereas if the OSR is established after an initial sell down, then we're looking for a long range buying opportunity, as that will be a really, really good little buying opportunity. Okay, now at this point in time, as the sellers, double check this, it would appear that the sellers own the stair step on the FDAX 5-minute chart. Okay, so let me double check. Yep, sellers own the stair step, so we're looking for buying base reversals. I wouldn't be surprised if that changes relatively quickly. If we were to get a lower low, guys, if we were to get a lower low and then an initial buy back the other way, guys, then we were looking to use the Fibonacci extension, guys, off that large mustard green candle there. This candle here is probably going to set the Fibonacci for the turn. Guys, now the turn looks like it's yesterday's high. There's also the pre-top there. There's also a 60-minute chart selling zone. So for the opening candle traders, we're looking ultimately to push up through these levels, fail badly, and come back down the other way. Now, how do I get, so great question, mate, great question. So again, guys, if you got any Fibonacci questions, now is a really good time to ask. My 4-hour fib, when I did some homework earlier today, my 4-hour fib is now running from here. So you see that climactic candle just there, mate? Run it down, obviously, to the low down the bottom. Run it to the low down the bottom. That's where my fib is running from. It was running from closer. So, mate, I was running my Fibonacci from... Let me just show you, mate. I was running it from there to there. I was running from there to there, and then I saw the volatility coming in on the NASDAQ. I thought, you know what, we might need a slightly larger one. What we'll do, guys, because it's a great question on the 240 chart. So on the 240 chart, there are also going to be a ton of traders that are drawing their Fibonacci from here to here. Okay, note Fibonacci is always drawn from left to right. The spine of the Fibonacci is always in this case here, drawn left to right. What we might do is we might, in this case here, we might load a 240, might load a smaller 240 just there. In fact, you know what, mate, that's going to end up with too many green ones. Let's go with a 15-minute. Let's go with a 15-minute purple. Okay, that one just there. Let's go with that. And we might find that that'll be the pinnacle point. So as for the FDAX traders, as right now, as we look at it, let me just check the 15-minute chart. That's always important. Yeah, see, they've triggered a 15-minute chart long already, and look, it's absolutely flown. So for the DAX traders opening candle, you guys are going to have to be just a little bit careful. Just a little bit careful. We just follow the algo, guys. We always do. I'm going to move these big comments off the side of the screen. Again, if we get a big run, we can look at those. We can look at those later. Ultimately, as I say all the time, guys, the less detail you got on your screen, the better you can actually read the pure price movement of the market, which I think is a lot of fun. Andy, does that make sense? Right? Does that Fibonacci make sense? Now, one thing I would suggest, guys and girls, about Fibonacci is it's quite often open. It's quite often open to many interpretations. While I'm talking, young Steve, very, very good at tech analysis. Wait, 24035, guys. So Steve has got a long-range NASDAQ target of 24035. 24035. Okay, so again, Steve, that's my humble opinion, really knows what he's talking about. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this up here. So NQ long range, what I'm going to do, long range grind. So if we decide we're just going to grind to the high side, guys, very, very likely to get up to Steve's target there. No question about that. And guys, if we do go short, wow. Now at this stage, guys, what have we got? Around about 5 minutes until the gun goes. Let's come down here to the FDAX, guys, because it looks like we might be, guys, it looks like we might be having a selling session at this stage. Let me just double check this. Daniel, how are you, mate? I hope you're fantastic. So for the FDAX traders, guys, we've got a 60-minute short just here, which they've already tried to trigger, but normally it's triggered inside the cash market versus the pre-market. All right, this is going to become very telling very quickly. All right, so Fibonacci down to catch them on the way up. Fancy that. There's the evil twins right there. Okay, there's the evil twins. The guys are also failing at the twins off the 4-hour chart. So what that means, let's look at this. They're honoring these Fibonacci's perfectly. So as for the FDAX at this stage, guys, what we're looking for is ultimately a buyer push on the opening candle that fades away really, really early. So that early sort of climactic volume would be really good fun. Now, guys, that said, if you don't trade the opening candle, please don't trade the opening candle. Guys, don't let me romance you into doing that. On the 60-minute chart, these guys are setting up short. On the 4-hour chart, as I've said on the screen, we're already 2 candles into a really lovely reversal long, guys. But the reversal long on the FDAX 4-hour chart has got a 51 rating, huge rating. But the point, and it's gone beautifully to target, no question. But that was fueled by that CPI news, guys, out of the US last night. So, guys, I'm going to jump on. Let me just jump on our list. I'm just going to grab a couple of microphones. Cody, your microphone's good to go. Andy, you are good to go. As I'm just searching to see who we've got ready to rock and roll. Bex, if you want your mic on, Petros, how are you? I hope you're fantastic. But if you want, Beck, if you want your mic on, just give me a yell. Now let me just get all my windows sorted here in the background. All right, so at this stage, guys and girls, a little bit more down to the bottom right-hand corner as we get ready to roll. As we get ready to roll, NASDAQ, if you are short already, so for the NASDAQ traders, if you were short, guys, off that 161.8 Fibonacci extension, all I would be wanting you to do at this stage, if you are short, guys, is effectively you would be looking for a 20 and a 50 tick target. If you do like reversing off Fibonacci, guys, then absolutely brilliant. There's nothing wrong with reversing the pre-market. If you are short, guys, just make sure you've controlled your risk for the European Open. So if the Europeans do decide to buy, you don't get caught with a basically on the wrong side of the market. Now, S&P volume's looking pretty good. We know about the FDAX, guys. Oh, gap warning. Probably, as with 2 minutes to go, guys, probably a really important, really important to raise. A really important point to raise. As both of the European markets only once or twice a week will close their gap in the pre-market. Guys, they've done that today, which means we're in for an abnormally volatile start to the day. All right, so if we are going to get that abnormal start, then for those that are looking for reversals, guys, we'll use Cody's rule of lower low, higher high. Okay, really important. What we will also do is we will make sure that for the opening candle traders, you would want to make sure that in this case here, the buyers need to have absolutely stolen the stair step at the moment. The sellers own the stair step on the FDAX, so we need the buyers to steal the step. We need the fatiguing volume, as we need all of that stuff all going off at the same time for the perfect opening candle trade. And may I suggest at this stage, guys, yesterday's high, there's your 133 fib extension. It's also the pre-top. This is a 60-minute sell zone just here. There's a whole lot suggesting that if the FDAX was to buy on open, it's not going to go very well for them. Okay, that would be my hint as we go in to the open. Mind you, if we crash, guys, if we crash on open, just let the opening candle run through. The institutional traders will give us an idea of what they're going to do, guys. Normally within around about 15 minutes of the session opening, you'll start to see the OSRs being set and so on. So, guys, if you're a little bit trigger shy on the opening candle, that's okay, guys. It is actually the lowest performing trade that I have tested is the opening candle. So, as you don't have to trade the opening candle if you don't want to. All right, so guys, as we roll in, if you are trading live today, make sure you've got that turned on. If you're copy trading, make sure you got that turned on. Guys, if you need your control center up, then make sure you got that up, ready to rock and roll as well. The 15-minute chart at this point in time, let me just shrink this up. I'm just moving stuff around here in the background. Yeah, okay, the 15 definitely says we're going short. Okay, so at this point in time, guys and girls, if you trade the opening candle, if you do trade the opening candle, you're looking for a color change. You're looking for a color change on that one. We don't have the color change yet. Okay, now we have a color change. All right, we're looking for the 133 Fibonacci extension failure, which looks like it's triggering at this point in time already. All right, that is a very, very aggressive, very, very aggressive rejection of the buyers by the sellers. So let's just watch very, very closely, very, very closely what these guys do on the opening candle. If you are a 133 extension trader, it's actually gone in the right direction already, guys, if you are that trader. Okay, now let's just see what these guys do. So again, guys, don't let me romance you into trading the opening candle, please. Very, very important that, again, if you're not an opening candle trader, please don't trade the opening candle. Absolutely fundamentally important. That one, that one. So I'm just moving orders around here. Just moving orders around in the background. All right, now that's a second push, guys. It's a second push up here. That's a very heavy sell-off buy. Very heavy sell-off, guys. So if you waited for the second push through the 133, guys, if you did wait for that, guys, and you are short, then you're almost at your risk control point for the FDAX traders. Okay, so you're almost at your risk control point. That's the third very heavy hit of the buyers by the sellers. So I'm looking to see, well, the buyers are still very interested in this FDAX. All right, so for everybody else, just watch very, very carefully what these FDAX traders do. Okay, let me just watch this FESX as well. That's the fourth very, very heavy hit. Nice, fourth very heavy hit of the buyers by the sellers. So I would suggest at this stage, that we're probably going to see the sellers move in. As again, let's just see what they do. Let's just see what they do here. Okay, let's just see what they do. At this stage, guys, we're not going to take another short, please. Right, we're right into that 60-minute selling zone now. So we're almost at the last 90 seconds or so. It's almost at the last 90 seconds. So don't look for a new execution. If you have traded the FDAX already, guys, it's gone through the 5-point target off that 133 a number of times. At this stage, guys, don't put a new trade into the FDAX in the last 90 seconds. Petros, you got it twice. That's a really, really great trade, mate. A really great trade. Big well done. Big well done. Now, as you can see, the buyers are sticking their head up here. FESX is very bullish, guys, at this point in time. So we're going to have to be very, very careful. Guys, very, very careful about the last 90 seconds. Okay, very, very careful indeed. So with 60 seconds to go on the candle, guys, no more trades at this stage. If you are an opening candle trader, you've done well off the 133 extension. If you're not an opening candle trader, guys, just let the opening candle go. The institutions will ultimately give us a very, very big hint as to what they're likely to do. All right, now NASDAQ, guys, just be very, very aware. That's the highest the NASDAQ has ever been. So for those that were short off the 161.8 extension, guys, you've done well, but you controlled your risk coming into the European Open as instructed for exactly this reason, guys, exactly this reason. Okay, now at this stage, guys, we are just letting these buyers go, guys. Just let the buyers go on the FDAX. Right, very, very strong close, guys, on the FDAX. So again, for the S&P and NASDAQ traders, for the S&P and NASDAQ traders, you guys have got really, really lovely, efficient candles to the high side. However, you might be trading back into key Fibonacci levels. Nice, very, very key Fibonacci levels. Let me just go and work that out. FDAX traders, if you do trade climactic reversals, you've got an opening candle climactic trade. It's gone straight into the pink 61.8 Fibonacci. Christian, you've got a +10 climactic reversal FDAX, massive, well done. I'm going to now start to bring the American charts. Let me start to bring the American charts on. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. Okay, I've got no Fibonacci's at this stage, guys, to send you short on. So what we're going to need is guidance at this stage from the S&P 500. There will be a Fibonacci here on the S&P. It looks like that just there. So again, for the NASDAQ and S&P 500 traders, if you're short on the FDAX, guys, from the climactic reversal, if you do wait for the opening candle to close and then trade, you're obviously on an absolutely incredible selling signal to the downside. If you look for that opening candle to fail, guys, and then trade. So a huge well done to you guys. A huge well done to you guys. Now, the flip side of the huge well done, if the FDAX does, guys, get back down around about the 24205 level, if it does actually decide it wants to go any further to the downside, then we're looking at that really, really lovely reversal we were talking about earlier on. Okay, really, really lovely reversal. So at this stage, guys, we've got really, really strong climactic candles on both American markets. I can't send you long, guys, on the NASDAQ simply because the risk is too much. So I can't send you long simply because the risk is too much. So simply because the risk is too much. Now, this is quite a massive correction, guys, quite a massive correction on the DAX. All right, so we'll just see ultimately, are they going to push further? Because if they do push further, as the climactic reversal off the opening candle, obviously an absolutely huge trade. It was absolutely huge trade. Right. So again, guys, really, really important that we focus on that climactic stuff. Right? There's no doubt about that. Now let's have a quick look. Let's have a quick look. That one. Perfect. All right. So it looks like the buyers might have burnt themselves out. Guys, if the buyers have burnt themselves out, then absolutely brilliant. We're looking for long range. Guys, we're looking for long range shorts on the FDAX. I do believe we're going to get a lot of trades today. Guys, a lot of trades. So please don't be shy, guys. Don't be shy. There will be some great little trades. Just follow your trading plan, guys. Would be my big tip. Now that being said, guys, S&P again, we're going long, guys. We're going long. So let me talk about the market. The market is trying to go long into very, very key Fibonacci levels. That red diamond delta, guys, on NASDAQ, I would like to trade that once this candle has closed. So once this candle is closed, as I'm looking for an entry on the NASDAQ for the NASDAQ traders at 964.50, guys, in 1 minute and 5 seconds from now, please. We're looking for these candles to close. Now, for the FDAX traders, do I have any FDAX traders who are short off the climactic reversal for long range targets? Guys, if you are short for long range targets, then we are probably going to get some really lovely sells. So Nazi traders, we're just waiting, guys, for the candle to close down before we look at the short. At this stage, I don't want to send you short on the NASDAQ in the last 90 seconds, hence the reason that we are being careful about that one. Let me do this one here, this one here. Okay. Perfect. Now I can, at this point in time, I am going to get rid of, I'll just leave it for the moment, guys. I'm going to get rid of a couple of Fibonacci's here on the FDAX. So for the DAXy traders, again, so NASDAQ traders, we need the buyers to push back up again. Guys, and we're looking to trade the delta short as per the price I gave you. Now, that is only for those people that trade deltas. It's 964.50. As we may be able to push a little bit higher and get a slightly better fill on that one. Okay, we might be able to push a bit higher and get a bit of fill. For the FDAX traders, guys, I would love to push up a bit, and then we're going to target the red diamond deltas short. Whereas the red diamond deltas short. Now, ideally for the FDAX, your volatility, guys, is allowing for, you know, that classic 5-point first target, 5-point risk control, and then a long range target. I'm just waiting to get guidance. I was here from the FDAX. The risk on the FDAX, 5, 10, 15, 20. The risk on the FDAX, guys, is a little bit too much for the beginner traders. So the risk at this stage on the FDAX is too much. I would suggest the best way to deal with that is wait for the buyers to push up. Wait for the buyers to push up. We could be looking at a pre-top reversal. Let's just see what these buyers have got here. So at this stage, guys, I'm just watching that FESX as well. What we don't want to do is we don't want to get caught as on an FDAX short if the FESX wants to charge. So at this stage, as for the FDAX traders, we're looking at a pre-top reversal if that's what you trade. If you want to be a little bit careful on a pre-top reversal, guys, we need to wait for a higher high. As now, if you are going to wait for a higher high, obviously the FDAX has got to do a lot of work to get to that higher high at this stage. Okay, a lot of work. Now, again, let's just see what these guys do. Now, for those of you that have gone short, guys, under the pre-top, your entry on FDAX is 24230. First target is 24225, and you should be on your first target now. Guys, you should be on your first target now. Now, guys, I've personally executed that pre-top reversal myself for a 5-point trade on all 4 accounts simultaneously. Right, so all 4 accounts simultaneously. What have we got here? Okay, that one. Sorry, guys, I've got a position. Let me just double check what's going on here. Got it. All right, I've got a rogue account. Right, we're good to go. All right, perfect. So for those of you guys that have gone short under the FDAX pre-top at 24230, if you've done that, then that's gone very, very well for you. As again, we're approaching the last 90 seconds, so no new trades, please. No new trades. For those that were looking on the NASDAQ to go short, guys, down here at the delta, we waited very deliberately for the candle to close, and that selling delta has not been filled. Guys, what that ultimately means, if we do get a big efficient candle like we're about to get, guys, for the NASDAQ traders, if you can hold the risk, we're looking to go long on the NASDAQ, and we're looking to go long to that blue line as already briefed in the pre-brief. All right. Now, guys, I don't mind you taking the black diamond deltas long on NASDAQ if you can hold the risk. Guys, if you can hold the risk. Again, we are in the last 90 seconds of the candle. If you are going to go long, your volatility says a 12 to 16 tick target. Guys, or you can try and go for 20s, just making sure you can hold the risk, making sure that we're also honoring the fact that we're pushing the all-time high and we're in the last 90 seconds of the candle. Now, with all of that said, guys, let's just navigate and do our best. FDAX traders, as we've got up to that 61.8 fib again, how we're going to deal with this. As your OSR for the FDAX is about to be set, all right, so the trade that we are likely to pick up, guys, for the FDAX traders, if we do buy the market through on the FDAX and we go through this little lower extension, guys, can now go. If we do get up around that 161.8 extension, guys, if we do get up well beyond the pink fib, we're looking at an OSR trade short, right? We're looking at an OSR trade short. For the S&P traders, at this stage, again, no valid shorts, which is brilliant. For the NASDAQ, guys, if you're not on the deltas, guys, if you're not on the deltas, then at this stage, the candle is not closed as an efficient candle. So please now don't trigger the deltas. If you're in on the deltas, there's no problem with that. That being said, though, there's no brand new trade for the new traders. Right? There's no brand new trade. For the FDAX at this stage, the only trade that is setting up, guys, we need to push up. Guys, I would love to get up around this 161.8 Fibonacci extension. Guys, if we do get up there, we're then looking to short under this pink Fibonacci. I'd really like to see some buyers get nicely up first, guys, and then I'm looking to sell the market short at 24245, please, just inside the upper OSR. Now, if that is your trading style, guys, 24245 is the short on FDAX. You would be looking for a first target of 24240, guys, and then you would be looking to try and go for a really, really long-range selling target, right? Really long-range selling target, understanding yesterday's high is just below you, right? Now, at this stage, guys, some of you may have gone short at 24245 on FDAX. If you have, then again, it's a valid trade. It's off a very, very strong Fibonacci. Some of you might look for 2 pushes up before you then put your order on. If you're short at 245, guys, your first target on FDAX is 240. I would want to make sure, guys, that we were well through that target in the first 3 or so minutes of the candle if the FDAX is going to reverse at that point. Some of you guys are looking for a static entry. Some of you are looking for a static entry. Ultimately, what does that mean? You're looking for this candle to close inside the upper OSR in 3 minutes time before you take a trade. Now, those that are long on the deltas, guys, on NASDAQ, so I know there will be some of you that are long on the deltas, right? If you are based on volatility, guys, your first target is 10 ticks, right? So, again, let me just put my little box on there, make sure that we've got this all in perspective. There's the first of the black diamonds just there. Guys, that is your first target just underneath the all-time high. Well, that's the brand new all-time high at 982.50. That's if you are long on the deltas. Guys, if you are long on the deltas. Now, at this stage, guys, S&P is a non-efficient candle to the high side. So for the buyers on S&P, we can't go long again. We're basically gearing up for shorts. Guys, particularly if Europe, if the FDAX fails here, guys, if the FDAX fails here, they will be keeping their eye very, very heavily, guys, very heavily on the FVSX. Okay, so how we're going to deal, guys, how we're going to deal with this, NASDAQ traders, if you're on the Delta long, guys, on the Black Diamond Delta long, you are through your first target. If you're on the higher Delta, guys, if you're on the higher Delta, you've got a little bit more work to do. Looks like you're literally right on your first target or risk control point. You would definitely want to be through that target, guys, in the next sort of 45 seconds on NASDAQ. Okay, boom, you're through your target, so no problem at all. FDAX, we have to keep a very close eye on the FESX. Very close eye. It's not about Fibonacci at this point in time. It's about the OSR, right? If the FESX, guys, closes outside the top of its OSR, then we cannot short the FDAX. Yeah, geez, exactly, mate. Exactly. We're looking for a reversal inside the OSR. Now, again, I took my eye off the FDAX, guys, to watch what the NASDAQ was doing. Anyone that is long on the NASDAQ deltas, you have gone through your first target and risk control point. Right? Now, how did I get that? Guys, simply just a quarter of the volatility at the time the market triggered. Okay, now, for the DAX, guys, for the DAX, last 90 seconds in particular, no new signals for you. If we close, so for the FDAX, if we close outside the OSR on the FESX and the OSR on the FDAX, that black diamond delta is a valid long in the next candle. It's a valid long in the next candle. So don't just jump in just yet. Okay, don't jump in just yet. No, let's just see what we're doing here. Now, if the NASDAQ, guys, if the NASDAQ gives us an efficient CORPC bar, which it is unlikely to do, we're looking for a 5-minute chart trade long, guys. If we don't get that, we're not going to take another long. NQ, well done, mate. Well done. Okay. For the FDAX traders, if the sellers retrace back down, guys, anywhere near that pink fib or the OSR, then that delta at 253 is valid. All right, now, so the delta is valid long at 253. Now, I would suggest at this point in time, that's a very strong FESX close there. So we may be asking a little bit too much for the sellers to come back down. What I do want to do, guys, if you want to be very careful on the FDAX, right? If you want to be very careful, right? Fibonacci goes up this candle. Okay, you're looking for a structured retrace. All right, looking for a structured retrace. Nazi, I can't send you long. Guys, I can't send you long. Some of you might be long on the deltas for long range targets. Okay, if you are, absolutely brilliant. I haven't got a brand new trade to send you long on just yet. Now, FDAX, you've just retraced to the 38 fib. Okay, just let them retrace. Again, two ways to interpret the FDAX, guys. That's a nice retracement that's just occurring now. If you do want to take the delta long, guys, at 253, if you do want to take the delta long at 253, you would literally now put your order on with a 258 target. All right, so it's 253 entry, 258 target. Holy moly. If anyone is long on that delta, guys, at 253, you've just pounded your target. Okay. Oh, dear. That was really fast. I wouldn't be surprised, guys, if anybody got skipped on that. Now, again, if you did have your order a little bit higher, guys, on that delta, you've already been paid, which is brilliant. Now, the flip side of that, guys, if we're going to take those deltas again, guys, we now need the sellers to show again, fail at Fibonacci again, and then reload. And that can't happen in the last 90 seconds of the candle. Right, so that can't happen in the last 90 seconds of the candle. All right, so now at this point in time, guys, as I said to you guys, I've executed one trade on my 4 accounts simultaneously. For those that are out there on YouTube, I'm just getting used to trading 4 accounts at the same time. Guys, so we are halfway to our daily KPI on that at this stage. Now, for the FDAX traders, guys, again, we were looking for a structured retrace in order to go long. If you've gone long on either of these black diamond deltas, guys, or the brand new delta there at 265, if you've gone long on 265, guys, your target is going to be 270. Guys, we just got to watch that little FESX down here at its R1. Guys, now, if these guys are going to grind, guys, if these guys are going to grind, the long range forecast comes in, guys. So we're basically targeting anything from 24228 to 24322. 24322 is all the way up here, guys. All the way up here. Right? Absolutely huge target. So for those of you who are long, guys, you're on an OSR trade. You've closed outside the range of the OSR. They retraced back, tested the OSR. Then you've gone long on the deltas or that delta there. They've all gone through their targets. Nice. They've all gone through their targets. Again, for the S&P 500 and NASDAQ traders, so anyone that's long, I know we've got Steve long, guys, on the NASDAQ in the background. Guys, I would suggest, as per the pre-brief, the NASDAQ is not going to stop buying until the S&P gets the key Fibonacci extension levels. Guys, and the most important key level on the S&P is the 161.8 extension, guys, up here at 6490. All right, so if we do get, guys, if we do get a valid 5-minute chart trade, we'll be able to move in on this uptrend here, guys, on the S&P. Okay, if we do get that, absolutely brilliant. Guys, until we get that, we're just looking for effectively static bar reversal short on both of the US markets. We do have to be careful though, guys. Obviously, MJ, well done, beautiful trade. We've got to be aware, at this stage, that very, very clearly the bias around the world, guys, our primary bias today on all markets was to buy. And at this point in time, the buying is working better than the selling. There is no doubt. Okay, now with all of that said, let's just watch very closely the the chances, guys, the chances of the FDAX failing here are not very high. So let's just see what they do. All right, for the NASI and S&P, you have picked up a static bar reversal. We're into the pre. All right, we're not going to go short on the NASDAQ at this stage, guys. We're not going to go short. Now, my exception to going short on the NASDAQ, if the buyers do push up on the current candle, push through the 2025 all-time high, and then get heavily rejected, guys, we've got a static bar reversal short with an entry at exactly 80.50, right? 80.50. Now, again, if we are going to trade that short, guys, we need the support of the S&P 500 traders. What I need, guys, for the NASDAQ traders, I need them to push up, create a higher high, and then fail. Okay, fail really badly. For the FDAX traders, if we get a Delta V2 red diamond short, guys, if we get a red diamond short on the FDAX, it looks like, guys, the R1 may be the failure point that Europe was looking for. Okay, maybe the failure point Europe was looking for. Let's just see what they do, guys. For the really careful FDAX traders, we're going to wait for the candle to close, and then we're going to make a decision on what they're doing. For the NASDAQ, guys, this is exactly what I was looking for. I wanted the all-time high pushed. It's just been pushed. What we want, guys, is we want the the NASDAQ traders to push through, hit a very, very key level, and then get absolutely demolished. Now, we need agreement from the S&P. We don't have that agreement yet, guys. We don't have that agreement yet. So for the NASI traders, again, we're waiting for either the black diamond deltas long, guys, black diamond deltas long, or we are looking for an efficient close on both the NASDAQ and S&P 500 charts simultaneously. FDAX, you are looking for a red diamond delta short, guys, or you're waiting for the candle to close, guys, and you're looking for either a 4-point turning bar or a static bar reversal, guys, with really, really good ratios. That Fibonacci can go. We don't need that anymore. So we'll trade, guys. We'll trade really, really carefully today. We obviously had an absolute blinder yesterday. Guys, it was really easy trading yesterday. Again, we've got no news. There's no European news today, no US news. So therefore, we're literally just cruising along, seeing exactly what the market's going to give us. I'm thinking we're about to pick up a long signal on the American markets, provided we get a big efficient close on both markets simultaneously. Okay, now for the FDAX traders, 2 minutes out, no red diamond deltas short at this point in time. They could come relatively late in the candle. As if we do, you've got a really good risk profile. And again, we would want to try and trade the red delta, guys, through the top of the OSR down all the way to the bottom of the OSR, which is an enormous trade. We're just waiting for these guys to set up, guys. We're just waiting for them to set up for us. Right, so we'll just trade carefully, guys. I know when I can tell you what's good. The thoughts going through my head when the markets move like this. You're like, oh my gosh, am I missing out? Am I missing out? It's like, no. If there's no valid trade, you are definitely not missing out. This static bar reversal, guys, on NASDAQ is looking better by the moment. So we wanted the higher high created before we look for a short. FDAX, you're looking better by the moment as well. As we're coming into the 30-minute chart close. At this point in time, we are climactic on the 30-minute charts. 15-minute charts are also climactic, primarily because they're pushing the all-time high, guys. That's the only reason that they would be doing that. Okay, no problem there. A quick look at that one there. Okay, so guys and girls, we are looking for short range shorts, right? Short range shorts. That means a 10-tick risk control point on the NASDAQ. Okay, we're looking to trade the static bar reversal. Because we've got a higher static bar reversal, we're looking to enter under the current candle. Okay, once the candle closes, we must have buyers show on the new candle and get rejected. We must have buyers show on the new candle and get rejected. So we've got around about 4 or so seconds to go. Okay, at this stage, as the buyers have shown on the candle, there's no question about that. As if you are going to go short on the NASDAQ, as you're looking for a short range short at 982, so 982 even. As if you are going to go short, guys, on the NASDAQ at 982, as you must use, please, a really, really tight risk control point. So if this is not the turning point in the market, all right, our long range targets don't get affected by that. Okay, so let's just see what these guys do. I'd suggest, guys, volatility is currently 30. Okay, volatility is currently 30. That we would need to make sure that we can go long range targets. I've got no problem with that, guys, but we must have tight risk control. Now, for the FDAX traders, boom, NASDAQ straight through your first target and risk control point. S&P 500 matching trade, please. FDAX, man, I don't have a Delta V2 for you yet. That's a very, very strong turn in the market. That is a 4-point turning bar short, guys, on the FDAX. FDAX, man, if you ever just gone 1 point further, we'd all be short. NASDAQ traders, everybody's short. MJ, well done. So NASDAQ traders, everybody's short on the NASDAQ if you are a static bar reversal trader. You've gone through your 10-tick first target, guys, and ultimately your risk control point. So if these guys bolt now, well done. If they don't bolt, it doesn't make a difference to us. So please, 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 if you're short on the NASDAQ, guys, a 10-tick target, very, very easy to achieve. 10-tick target, very, very easy to achieve. We're way over the 10-tick target already, and then we're looking for a long-range target as well. So early first target, long-range second target. I would suggest at this stage, guys, your second target's probably going to be around about 40 ticks. Probably going to be around about 40 ticks. Let me just double check. 10, 20, 30, it's exactly 40 ticks. So you guys are going to, for the interim sort of, hey, Lockie, I've just started trading target. Guys, again, you're looking for a 972.50 target. All right, so just let these guys bop along here. Let's let them bop along. So everyone promised me on the NASDAQ, you've gone through your first target. You can't lose any money on the trade. If these guys fall away a little bit further, they're going to go through the 20-tick target. There's 20 ticks being kissed at the moment. 20 ticks have been paid. As for those with experience, you're going to go for 10s and probably 70s or 80s. For those with less experience, you're going for 10s and 40s, please. All right, 10s and 40s. Your 40-tick target is right here, guys, at 972.50. Oh, come on. Just go, please. So for those NASDAQ traders, guys, I just want to highlight how amazing you are in staying patient for 25 minutes like a sniper in the grass, waiting for the perfect trade, and you've just been paid. That's the most important. Oh, well done. 4, 10, and 14 on the FDAX short. Well done, well done, well done. For the FDAX traders, that red diamond delta, a little bit late to the game, sweetheart, but that red diamond delta is valid in the new candle, right? Valid in the new candle. NASDAQ traders, you've all gone to profit, guys. There'll be some different combinations of profit there, and that's okay, guys. Different combinations of profit. What we're ultimately looking for is, again, an early first target, an early first target. Then we're going to try and let the profit run as far as we can. We've got no risk. There's absolutely no risk on this trade now on NASDAQ. Identical trade on the S&P. For the S&P 500 traders, your targets are 4s and 8s. So you've already gone through your 4-tick target and your 8-tick target. FDAX, that red diamond delta is valid in the new candle, not this candle, please. Selenia, beautiful trade, 10s and 30s on NASDAQ. Well done. Did you get that, sweetheart? Right, so my wife has finished trading as well. Oh, geez, mate, OSR, so important. It's so important. And mate, you know, the funny thing about it is that there are so many different versions of the OSR. Like, I won't get into the discussions, but there's lots of mathematics. You know, there's people out there with, oh no, it's this and it's that and it's this and it's that. And so, okay, well, it might be that on Forex, or it might be that on oil, or it might be that on gold. But for what we do, it's what we do. Like, it's you know, it's for what we do, we are very, very specialist in what we do, and we just focus on making money. It doesn't matter what people's opinions are, guys and girls. At the end of the day, if you are making money with the indicator set that you've got, just keep making money. Like, it's the only people that get annoyed by that are the people that don't have indicators. Just not to be rude, guys. I've got some very, very funny comments coming in on YouTube. Maybe people now have fallen in love with indicators. I'm not 100% sure. All right, I'm just putting comments, guys, here. Okay, here we go. All right, so let me just send that through to YouTube. Now, as for the FDAX traders, right, so for the buyers, guys, for the FDAX traders, we're targeting that red diamond delta, right, the red diamond delta here, right? So at 224, we need the buyers to show, guys, we need the buyers to show, like they're currently doing, push up, fail at Fibonacci, and then we're going to grab them coming back the other way. Now, what would also be amazing, it's absolutely amazing for the FDAX traders, if we did get a push up, guys, so just let them push. Guys, if we get a push up here around about that 50 fib, or even up here, we're actually looking at a pre-top reversal short, all right? So the buyers still own the stair step. We're looking for selling-based reversals. The backup trade for the FDAX traders is that delta right there at 224, guys, for 219. If they start pushing up here, guys, just let them go. Just let them go. What you're doing is you put Fibonacci on, and you're looking for them to push up and get absolutely whacked. Guys, that's what we're after. We're after the whacking. We are 35 minutes in, guys, 35 minutes in. So for the FDAX traders, guys, we're going to target, as we do every day, the first 45 minutes of the session. Guys, I've had one winning trade today only while running the live trading room and also running YouTube simultaneously, just to be very transparent with everybody. Guys, I'm halfway to my daily KPI on 4 accounts simultaneously. Just to be super transparent, guys, with everybody. Yes, I'm doing my best to run the LTR and run YouTube and trade live simultaneously, and that is quite hilarious. Now, for those guys, for the FDAX traders, again, we don't want to take a trade in the last 90 seconds of the candle. Suzanne, I hope so. It's actually quite good fun. It's actually quite good fun. Now, S&P 500 traders, if you took the static bar reversal short, guys, you've gone through your 4 and your 8 tick target. You're back up at that 133 fib extension, which we did identify in the pre-brief was going to be a very, very critical level. If you want to be an absolute stickler, guys, on the FDAX, right? So we're not selling anywhere near that delta at this point in time at 224. That's okay. We don't want to get filled in the last 90 seconds of the candle, which is in 14 seconds from now. You guys might be looking for the buyers to push back up, get above the OSR, create a higher high. Guys, create a higher high over the top of this candle. Guys, you might be looking for a higher high, and then we're going to get an upper OSR short. Or if this candle does stay under yesterday's high in the pre-top, so 1 minute and 22 seconds to go, if we stay under that level, then the delta on the screen there at 224 is phenomenal. Okay, like it's looking better and better by the moment. Now, guys, exactly what's occurring on NASDAQ is exactly why we use an early first target. We go for a long range target. We cut the risk off so we've got nothing at risk, because these guys are gearing up for a potential swing trigger long on both US markets. Now, again, the swing trigger. Oh, FDAX, don't you come and engage that short now, darling. Some of you might be short on the FDAX already, guys, because you might have literally put your order on at 224 when this current candle started, as opposed to waiting for the retrace and the rejection. If you are short at 224, guys, mathematically, there is nothing wrong with your signal, right? You are expecting them to go and pound 219, right? 219, black line coming across the screen. So if you are short there already, guys, there's no dramas. You'd be short at 224. For the people that are really, really careful, you're waiting for the buyers to push in. You're looking for the failure, and then you're going short. Now, at this stage, we've got, 2 seconds to go on the candle. So what we're looking for, guys and girls, we're looking for buyers to push in. On the FDAX, it would be incredible if they tag the pre-top. Okay, now note with interest, guys and girls, if I can, last time the FDAX got to the 50 fib and failed. If they push up to the 23 and then fail, then the short can go on at 224. Simply because the buyers have tried very, very hard. If the buyers can't be bothered now, it's because the sellers are too strong. It's not because the buyers have given up. Okay, it's literally buyers versus sellers, and the stronger team has to win. The only reason the buyers can't go up here is the sellers are now mounting volume over the top of this candle. Now, again, volatility is 20s, guys. So 5-point target as per the target setting matrix. I've got nothing on the NASDAQ, guys. So just I haven't forgotten about you guys. So we're setting up a swing trigger. Guys, be very, very careful assuming a close over the 50 fib of the micro trend. That's exactly what they're asking us to do, which is not what we're allowed to do, guys, as per our rules. So the NASDAQ traders are looking for shorts, not longs, please. So NASDAQ traders are looking for shorts, not longs. Guys, if you understand we can't go long, you can only go short. Some of you may have re-entered the static bar reversal we originally spoke about. Guys, the entry point there is at 982 even. Guys, you would be looking for a 10-tick first target and risk control point. And then because this is a second tier reversal, you'd be looking to try and get them to move a little bit further. All right, so if you have gone short, guys, on the highest of the static bar reversals, because we've got a higher high and we can't trade long, we can only trade short. You're looking for a 10-tick first target with a volatility this low. So 10-tick first target. Then you can go for a slightly larger second target as we're cruising through that, or we're looking towards sniffing that at the moment. So if you are short, guys, on this SBR, if you are short on the SBR, 10-tick first target, please. You could use a 10 and 20 or a 10 and 30, 10 and 40, but whatever you're going to do, guys and girls, please make sure, now we're 20 ticks into this trade, please make sure you've controlled your risk on all the long range targets. This is now money for jam, guys. Money for jam on NASDAQ, please. Same trade on S&P 500, please. All right, same trade on S&P. So we've basically double dipped, guys, double dipped this static bar reversal, higher high. We can't go long on the swing trigger because we're not allowed to. It's because our rules say don't. And those guys have gone down around about 20 ticks in your favor. Selenia, beautiful trade. Oh, well done. Okay, massive trade. Stunning trade. Well done. All right, so guys, that little static bar reversal, as much as it is a mathematically incredible trade, that at this point in time is going to be our NASDAQ trade of the day because it literally just keeps repeating. If you're not in that trade, guys, already, don't put a limit order on now and hope to get filled. What we need is the buyers to push in, fail again at Fibonacci, and then we're looking to short. Okay, then we're looking to short. Now, for our DAX, guys, we're going to be 45 minutes into the session in 90 seconds, which ultimately means no new trades except for a pivot-based reversal. All right, that's the only thing we can trade. And ironically, that's the only thing that is setting up for us. So if this candle, guys, if this candle was to close underneath the pre-top and yesterday's high, we might be looking at a pivot-based reversal short on the FDAX in 1 minute and 5 seconds from now. Okay, let's see what we've got. So any NASDAQ traders, guys, if you're short on that static bar reversal for the second time, as understanding that your volatility is now 30, that is now 30. So the volatility, guys, basically what it means, these markets are getting ready to explode, right? So we've got the NASDAQ and S&P 500, the highest they have ever been. Now, what we would normally get, guys, what we'd normally get in this scenario, this is why we're going for such short range, short targets. What we would normally get is a scenario, I'll draw it on the NASDAQ screen for you. We normally get a big run up like that. And then what we effectively get is something like this. They'll attempt a two-phase complex retracement against the trend. And then coming into the 60-minute close, the buyers will give us a really strong 60-minute close. And guys, we will literally just boom to the high side. Now, I think they're gearing up for that now. So ironically, there is your first push down. Buyers tried and failed. There's your second push down. See the lower low there? They're doing exactly this. All right, so we've got a two-phase complex retracement back towards the MDI. S&P two-phase complex retracement as well. I think, guys, we're probably going to go higher. I think we're probably going to go higher. Now, we are in the last 15 minutes. So for even those on YouTube, guys, those on YouTube, the signal success rate as a 5-minute chart trader drops in the last 15 minutes of the hour because of institutional traders coming into the market. All right, so at this stage, guys, I'm happy with how we've gone so far today. We've traded very, very carefully, guys. I don't think we've been stomped on yet, which is, again, really exciting. The climactic reversal on FDAX, guys, the climactic reversal, that was the absolute chicken dinner winner, that one. It just shows you guys and girls, those of you that were thinking, oh, look, I want to trade the opening candle on FDAX. Guys, it just shows you categorically, if you just wait for that opening candle to close, confirm that it's failed at Fibonacci, and then sell it short, that candle's gone 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. More than 45 points to the downside. Thank God for an extreme volume indicator. Otherwise, we literally wouldn't have known the buyers have run out of steam, which is really exciting. So again, we come back to that indicator thing. Seems like that, oh, geez, 100%. Now, mate, because the short trades are not running, a long way on the NASDAQ, at the moment we get an efficient candle on the NASDAQ and the S&P 500, that will tell you the buyers are ready to run again. Right? That's literally what we're facing at this point in time. Now, what have we got? What have we got at this stage? We've got, I'm just watching the little FDAX here, because the upper OSR, they're currently playing with the upper OSR at the moment. That's a very heavy rejection by those guys. The only thing we're allowed to take, guys, in the FDAX in the last 15 minutes is pivot-based reversals. Now, the upper OSR is effectively a hybrid pivot. Now, look at the rejection. I mean, once we got back inside, they've gone and retested it. This is setting up, guys, this is setting up for really, really lovely shorts on the FDAX. Really lovely shorts. For those that love, I close back inside and then a retest. Look at what they've just done. Like, we're not talking an area weapon here. This is very, 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 very accurate. Well, that's why the FDAX is not running, because the FESX and the FDAX don't agree with each other. But the moment we have alignment with these two, then it's going to fly. Okay, it's absolutely fly. Now, for the NASDAQ traders, you guys have pushed even higher again. Guys, you've pushed even higher again. Some of you, we don't have an efficient buying signal, guys, against us yet. Some of you trade, such as the young Remy. Some of you guys trade off these Fibonacci's here, like the 88.6 or these fibs here. Guys, if that is you, then absolutely fantastic. If that is you. If that is not you, we are in the last 15 minutes. We're just waiting, to see what happens. All right, now let's just see the pivot, guys. The pivots ultimately I'm looking for the FDAX, guys. If we get under yesterday's high or the pre-top, then that will be a pivot-based reversal in the last 15 minutes. It'll be traded as a static bar reversal. What will confuse the markets is if the FESX literally closes up here, sorry, if the FESX closes above its OSRs, then again, for the DAX traders, we're looking for these guys to push up to the R1 and fail again. I have a sneaking suspicion we're about to turn. Once these S&P markets don't look, or the US markets don't look that robust. 60-minute chart is climactic, guys. I'd suggest that simply because they've been pushing the all-time high. 30-minute chart, nothing drawing my attention there. 15-minute chart, if we had a higher high, which we don't have, nothing drawing my attention there. These guys are climactic at the 133 fib extension. Fancy that. Fancy that. What have we got here? So last 15 minutes, guys. In fact, last 10 minutes. That's exactly the candle formation we want on the FDAX, and they're on the wrong side of the pivot. No, Daniel, that's an absolutely incredible question. So, man, if you've got an ATM with a 40-tick stop, but then you get a trade that's only got 20 ticks of risk, then you would naturally move your stop loss to where the market tells you to. Now, the reason why your question's such a great question, mate, is that quite often people will get into a trade with a fixed ATM and a fixed stop, but then they don't move their stop loss to where the market tells them to put it. So if you've got an opportunity to reduce your stop loss, 100% reduce your stop loss. Yeah, because again, if your signal goes like the SBR basically says, there's the static bar reversal, absolutely brilliant. We've got this incredible on the NASDAQ, the incredible loss of buyer strength in the market. We're basically gonna join the sellers as they celebrate the first buyer failure, which is what we've just done. Now, at the moment, guys, we're waiting for another buyer failure. Okay, now the problem we've got with Nazi right now, apart from the fact we're in the last 15 minutes, I know I've mentioned that a number of times. The most important thing about this is that we've now got efficient candles starting to show on the NASDAQ, which means the buyers are like, hey, let's go a bit higher. The S&P 500 does not agree with the NASDAQ. So there might be some NASDAQ traders out there on the world who are like, oh, wow, I'm going to go long. I'm going to miss out on this massive trade. But because they're not using the right reference charts, they've now got a scenario called charts in conflict. And that conflict is not going to go well for them. There's no question about that. Heaps of fibs on my FDAX chart that would suggest the key fib levels are only just to reduce the little clutter. Geez, mate, what I do every day I mean, look, if I went to my daily chart, that's what it looks like. It's an absolute mess of Fibonacci. So what I did earlier today is I deleted a whole lot of longer range dailies. I literally drew my daily down here to catch them on the way up. My 4 hours drawn down to catch them on the way up. My 15-minute charts dropped down to catch them on the way up. So you would only need at this stage, mate, a daily, a weekly, a daily, a 240, a 60, and that's it. So if you've got more Fibonacci's on than that, you've probably got too many fibs on. Probably got too many fibs on. Oh, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. I'm finding the double 76s are incredible. You don't need a 23. No, mate. You could have the 50, the 61.8, the double 70s, and the double 90s if you want. So you're getting less horizontal lines on the chart. Funny, mate. That's why I've made my 15-minute Fibonacci this sort of light purple color, because all of these bold lines across the chart, you end up with all these brick walls in inverted commas that you can't trade into, but you're the one that's put all the brick walls there. So again, mate, before I started the session today, I stripped all the Fibonacci's back and said, right, what are the critical ones that we need only? And all I did is use that three-touch rule. And three-touch rule we've spoken about before. So if I draw my fib here, I'll then go and check it on another chart, make sure that I've got those three perfect touches like we do today. The Fibonacci is so obvious. I mean, even down here at the 5-minute chart, as this pink fib is getting touched to the tick. Guys, now that tells me that, I mean, that's a weekly Fibonacci, but it also tells me, and we know exactly what the institutions are thinking, which is really exciting. All right, now at this stage, guys, what are we looking for? We're looking for the buyers to fail again, which is obviously what they're doing. We are about to enter the last candle of the hour, which gets a little bit dangerous for us little 5-minute futures traders. So we'll just let them. Well, just let the market come to us, guys. At this stage, we're looking for a turn of the hour trade. What I am excited by is that all turn of the hour trades are going to be short. Guys, now, if we get a 4-point turning bar short here on NASDAQ, guys, which we are going to, there is no question about that. They may turn the hour early on us, which would not be very friendly. FDAX, that is a 4-point turning bar short as well. All right, so how are we going to deal with this? FDAX, what are you doing? For the FDAX traders, you can't go short because you've gapped onto a pivot. For the NASDAQ traders, wow, it's a tough call, guys. This is the last candle of the hour. It's the Widowmaker candle. And that is a mathematically perfect short. Of course. So the only way you can go short, guys, the only way you can go short is to draw a Fibonacci down the dominant candle, get a structured retrace and structured rejection. That's the only thing you can do. As what you're looking for is the last bastion of buyers to go, oh, let's just try and get back up again, and they get absolutely annihilated. Right, so using push, retrace, reject as a principle is basically doesn't smoke you into a trade. Because a lot of people, I don't know, guys, anyone ever done it where you rush into a trade thinking, oh my gosh, the market's going to move without me? And then you suddenly realize, oh my gosh, why did I do that? Because the signal hasn't set yet. So our signal's now set with preconditions as to what we can and can't do. Some of you will be eyeing off that static bar reversal, guys. We've already traded that twice. I've got no issue with trading that a third time. I want that to occur inside the new hour, though. Now, at the moment, guys, it looks like we've had a really good trading session, so you don't want to be making a mistake on the turn of the hour candle. And the flip side of that, guys, if we get a big efficient candle long here on NASDAQ, which we may do in 3 minutes and 19 seconds, if we do get a massive long here, we can't just necessarily just go long. We would need to make sure we've got the S&P 500 agreement. If we can't go long, guys, we're looking for shorts, which is ideally exactly what we've been doing all day. If we can't go long, we're looking for a short range short until we get a long range long in place. Now, some of you are long, guys. I know that there's NASDAQ and S&P 500 traders long, guys, from the pre-market, from when they sold down here and failed. Those of you are long, then you guys are just holding long, guys. The NASDAQ did exactly the same thing. Right? So literally the NASDAQ sold down here. Okay, step down, and then took off. Now, primarily it took off because of the S&P 500. So some of our NASDAQ traders are long, which is great. You guys are just holding long for really, really long range targets. Guys, that's why we use push, retrace, reject. Look at this. That's exactly why we do it. And this is exactly why we're very careful. All right, straight to the 150 daily extension, which is where we thought. This is why we're very, very careful, guys, about the Widowmaker candle. 24,000, guys, round number, magnet to price. Absolute lay down was there. They're probably going to have a crack for 24,000. Okay, probably have a crack at 24,000. I would suggest at this stage. FDAX. That 4-point turning bar short, guys, with the delta underneath it is absolutely divine. Guys, we are going to have to wait for the turn of the hour and ideally an increase of volume. Now, if you have gone short on the delta anyway, guys, because you've got a 4-point turning bar based on a pivot, some of you may have done that, guys, and that's okay. Your short is at 227. Your short's at 227. Guys, your target is 222, right? Your target is 222. Highly likely mathematically that that's going to get hammered. Guys, we have to be careful on the closing candle of the hour that we just simply don't get on the wrong side of the market. Steve, well done, mate. You've had a really good day today. So good job, mate. Good job. Now, at this stage, guys, we've got a big efficient candle coming in. This is exactly the scenario we were talking about before. So if we do get a big efficient candle here, guys, on the NASDAQ, if we do get a big efficient FDAX straight through the target. Oh, 4-point turning bar. You've got to be kidding. Diane, I know. That's what I'm thinking. That was such a lay down misère. It's a 4-point turning bar. Beautiful mathematics. Delta at the exact fill point, straight through its target. That's all right. We might get another crack at it. We might get another crack at it. All right. So at this stage, guys, sellers have just stolen the stair step on the FDAX. So now we're looking at buying base reversals. We're going to have to be very careful about that, guys. So we might not necessarily get the turn of the hour trade right on the turn of the hour. My preference for the FDAX traders, again, I would like the buyers to push back up, and we'll look for pre-top reversals. Now, let's just watch what these guys do. Man, that FDAX has gone like literally 1 minute early on us. 1 minute early. Okay, that is an inefficient candle on NASDAQ to the downside, guys, loading all of the previous short trades, right? So loading all the previous short trades. So again, what does that mean for the NASDAQ traders? As if you can take the static bar reversal short, which we spoke about for a third time, right? So if you can take that short, guys, it is a valid short. Buyers have obviously reconfirmed their control of the stair step. That's an inefficient candle long, so we want to go short. Now, what does it mean, guys? You've got 2 trade choices on the NASDAQ. Both of those SPRs on the left-hand side are valid. Guys, please make sure your volatility is low. First target is 10 ticks. I would go for first target at 10 ticks, minimize my risk, and then go for a long-range target. This is what I would ultimately do. You don't have agreement with the S&P 500 yet. Guys, you don't have agreement yet. So please, guys, please look at those 10-tick targets. All right. So the higher SPR over there on the left-hand side has already gone through its 10-tick target. The lower one has also gone through its 10-tick target. If we were to end up, guys, with a 4-point turning bar short here on NASDAQ, these markets are going to tumble. For the FDAX traders, you've now got a lower low, which means you're looking for a reversal long off the open. Now, guys, if you're going to do that, it would be really, really smart if these guys stretch down, get caught at Fibonacci. Your open entry price is at 14 with a target of 19. Let me just double check your Fibonacci. 100%, guys, as I do this for you. All right, yep, 100%. There's the 76 fave. So for the FDAX traders, if you've gone long, guys, if you've gone long at 14, your first target is 19. So sellers have stolen the stair step. You're looking for buying base reversals off pivots with Fibonacci to help. Guys, obviously the Fibonacci has caught them perfectly. So if you are long, guys, on the FDAX at let's say 14s or 15s, you're obviously well through your target now. No question about that at all. Okay, NASDAQ, guys, let's have a look. OSR long, Selenia, well done. So Selenia has gone long off the OSR on NASDAQ. Okay, well done. FDAXs, guys, I don't know if I gave you enough notice on that long. So again, we're looking for pivot-based reversals. I was looking for the buyers to push up, steal the stair step and go short again, or the sellers to obviously sell down, fail at Fibonacci, which is obviously what's occurred and come out the other way. Now, for the NASDAQ, guys, we've just made a higher high. What does that ultimately mean? We are now looking for a valid buy signal long, or if we can't go long, we're looking to compound in on the shorts. Okay, so Selenia, beautiful trade. Do I have any FDAX traders long, guys, off the open for a long range target? Is any FDAX traders long for a long range target? If you are long, Christian, nice work. I would suggest at this stage, you're targeting the upper OSR. Flip side is you draw a Fibonacci down to catch them on the way up, mate, and you'd be catching them there. So again, guys, turn of the hour, Stella sold the stair step, push down to the pivot. You've caught them long going the other way. And again, you're going to try and hold them as long as you can. To the upper OSR would be incredible. All right, now, guys, that's the highest. Here we go. S&P 500. Let's look at this. So we are about to get an efficient candle long on the S&P 500. As it means the NASDAQ is probably going to go in sympathy. Very, very likely, guys, the NASDAQ is literally just going to push to 24,000 so they can say they've been to 24,000. I don't think they've ever been here before, have they? 24,000? No, not at all. Okay. Let's just watch very, very carefully. So no new trades in the last 90 seconds. As for those putting giggle comments on YouTube, I do very much appreciate it. So for those in the LTR, if you want to go and put a comment on YouTube, you are more than welcome. There's some cheeky people there on YouTube putting comments on, which is fantastic. I think this is the third time we've done YouTube. Christian, nice work, mate. Beautiful trade. That's a beautiful trade. All right. So what we're going to get, guys, what we're going to get on the American markets, again, these guys are bound to go for 24,000. Bound to go for 24,000. Oops, I've just realized I'm on a 15-minute chart. Okay. We are picking up climactic reversals, guys, on both US markets. What I would look for at this stage, I would look for the NASDAQ, to tag 24,000 before we sell. Okay, now that being said, we've got within a whisker of 24,000. Isn't that incredible, guys? 24,000. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. If any of you guys are into crypto, Cody, yes, guys, Cody's coaching is on trading psychology tonight, guys. Starts in just under an hour. So for those that are coming along to coaching, please come and say good day to Cody. Let's be someone say Cody should be really, really good fun. Guys, now, with all of that said, we've got FDAX. Our volume is okay at this point in time. NASDAQ, we're looking for ideally a tag of 24,000. We're within a whisker of 24,000. So we're looking for the tag of 24,000 and then a red diamond delta short, just to confirm that the instos are actually interested in selling, or we're waiting for this candle to close. It would be incredible if it looks like that. In 3 minutes and 30 seconds, we're looking for exactly the same candle on the S&P and NASDAQ simultaneously. That will no doubt, guys, be an absolutely perfect static bar reversal short. I, at this stage, do not anticipate the US markets going short. Guys, we're looking for a touch of 24,000. I wouldn't be surprised at all, guys, if we tag 24,000 and there's quite a response to it, quite a response. Just for the European-based traders, guys, particularly the FDAX-based traders, just watch, guys, very, very closely. FESX is looking very buoyant at this point in time. All right, so again, because the FESX is obviously trying to buy hard, the long that Christian got before, guys, off the open, absolutely perfect turn of the hour trade. All right, so well done, well done, well done. Seller stole the step straight into a brick wall, supported by Fibonacci. So, and if you drew your Fibonacci up there, Christian, to catch him on the way down, you did a really, really good job. A really, really good job. Right now, I'm just watching, guys, just watching. We are 8 minutes into the second hour. All right, so buyers have just stolen the stair step on the FDAX. So at this stage, we'll keep an eye on the FESX, guys. If it gets caught under its R1, then we are definitely looking for shorts on the FDAX. NASI, guys, we're in the last 90 seconds. All right, let's just watch very carefully here. This could be, guys, this could be for the DAX traders. We may be. If we close back outside the OSR to the high side, guys, which we'll know in 51 seconds, if we close back outside the OSR to the high side, then we are certainly not selling anything on FDAX. All right, let's just watch very carefully. So this candle, guys, this candle we're getting on the NASDAQ is probably the most incredible ratio SBR we've seen all day. So what we're looking for, guys, we're now looking for shorts on the NASDAQ. The buyer failure looks to have been confirmed. I'm looking for, it would be great if we tag 24,000. It would be great if we tag 24,000. In a perfect world, guys, I want the buyers to push up a little bit and then fail badly. Now, our entry point is underneath the bar, guys. So we've just got to watch how much risk we're holding. FDAX, you've got the FESX on its R1, right? On basically closed on, gapped on. So again, we're going to have to be careful with that one. A red, as in we're not taking a trade on FDAX, I'll be super clear. For the NASDAQ traders, if you were to get a red diamond delta short, guys, if you get a red diamond delta short, guys, it will be valid for a 10-tick target based on your current efficiency. Yeah, there's no problem with a 10 to 20 tick target. I would be very, very, very surprised as if there weren't a large number of sellers sitting at 24,000. Very surprised. Let's have a look. Let's just have a look. You can see the markets don't know what to do. They're like, wow, all right. So we're kind of in the stratosphere at this point in time. The bigger traders, where's my text I had on here before? The grind target. So that's Steve's long range grinding target up the top there. Right, I'll go and find, guys. I'll go and find our long range targets from before. So that is a technical touch at 24,000. They've gone with on one tick of it. FDAX, so no trades for you guys with the FESX over the top of the R1, please. Guys, if you have, there might be some of you that have crypto. If you're a fan of crypto, did they just touch 24,000? I have a sneaking suspicion they did. They did. All right, so now we're looking for the red diamond delta short. Yeah, okay, yeah, well, but there you go, okay. First time 24,000 ever been touched. First time ever. First time ever. So FDAX, we can't get a trade for you guys at this stage. For the NASDAQ, I'm looking for a red diamond delta short. As you can see that we've got basically no red diamonds in the last sort of 15 to 20, 25 minutes. What does that mean, guys? It just means the institutions are not interested in selling. Everybody's just weighing into the buy, and that's okay. If we get a strong, efficient candle, guys, then a nice seller retrace and a nice rejection, then we're going to join the buyers. If we get the opposite of that, we're going to join the sellers. And this looks a lot like we're about to pick up a sell signal. Okay, so just wait, guys. Just be really patient. It's very, very tempting just to push the button and go, oh, lucky, I'm going to short. Now, there will be people out there in the world that are shorting off 24,000. There's no doubt about that. There will be those people out there in the world. I'm looking for the 5-minute algorithm to confirm they're actually there, as opposed to the 1 minute or the 2 minutes or the 3 minutes, all of those charts that institutional traders don't trade. What is the 5-minute being probably the lowest denomination chart? And I think we might be 90 seconds out from a trade. For the DAXy traders, all right, I can't send you short with the FESX long. Now, we just remember, so we started the session. I said we got a gap warning today. The opening candle's likely to go ballistic. Look what they did. They went ballistic. I find that kind of exciting, guys, because these markets generally follow patterns. All right. So if we can pick what the pattern is, then it makes trading them really, really simple. It's really, really predictable. And that's always, obviously, that's always good fun. Okay, so let's see what we've got here. We've touched 24,000 multiple times, guys. We're not going short off 24,000. It's not a 5-minute chart trade. It's, people will be just shorting it because it's a round number. That's okay. Let's just wait for the 5-minute chart trade to confirm. Now, we may pick up a short here. We're going to have to be, again, very, very aware. The buyers must show on the new candle before we get the short. Okay, FDAX, you're going to get nothing at this stage, guys. You're going to get nothing at this stage unless the FESX closes underneath the R1, and then you guys are getting an upper OSR short, right? But you're going to have to keep an eye on that. All right, NASDAQ. There is a valid short for the NASDAQ traders, guys. It's 2 ticks underneath the candle that's just closed. You must use a 10-tick target. You must, 10-tick risk control point. The buyers must show, which they've done. We're looking to, again, move the market down. We've got matching signals on the S&P 500 and the matching signals on the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. If I was going short, guys, on the NASDAQ right now, I would want a relatively quick answer. Okay, a relatively quick answer. What do I mean by that? A relatively quick move through the risk control point, please. All right, now the risk control, guys, because the volatility is so low, all right, the risk control point is only 10 ticks at this point in time. All right, so if you are short on the NASDAQ, guys, we want them to fall through to the bottom of that box relatively quickly. Come on, sweetheart. Oh, don't touch us. Go. Don't do that. All right, so what's occurred, guys? Let me just double check this is the case. All right, so 1, 2, that is 100% the case. They've gone 9 ticks towards a 10-tick first target. Those 9 ticks. We'll give them one more seller push down. There's one more seller push down. Okay, just watch what they're doing. Our volatility, guys, our volatility is low. All right, so have a look over here. Oops, I'm moving that around. Volatility is low. Okay, so we've got to be very, very careful. Very, very careful. Right? Again, when the volatility is low, guys, you guys can get a little bit whiplashy. Volume is also starting to drop on the FDAX. In fact, volume is so low on FDAX, guys, we may not be getting another FDAX trade at this stage. Right, so we might not be getting another trade. Now for the NASDAQ, guys, so I'm going to draw a Fibonacci down the retrace candle. So draw a Fibonacci down the retrace candle. Okay, so they've retraced to the 50 fib perfectly. What that ultimately means, guys, is if we do get another sell down, guys, on the NASDAQ, then it will be a little bit more sort of violent this time. But ultimately, we want to make sure that if they were to push down, guys, even 5 or 6 ticks into profit now, we'd want to make sure that we were starting to reduce or limit our risk. Okay, we are in a scenario where obviously the buyers are very keen to push the market up. We've touched 24,000. There is no question about that. I'm watching the S&P very, very closely. So typically, guys, if the NASDAQ's going to move, it's going to give us 3 selling pushes. We've only had 1 selling push so far. So identical to the signal we got last time. We got 3 very, very well-defined selling pushes. Let me give you a line across the chart here. All right. I want them to push through to that black line, which enables many of you to start to reduce or cut your risk off. FDAX at this stage, no trades. Guys, please make sure your stop loss is just above that little red candle on NASDAQ, because if these guys do decide they're not going to turn off 24,000, right, and we get a buying candle on S&P, if that was to be the case, then we are going to see buyers return into the market. Okay, now at this point in time, those guys have gone 9 ticks towards a 10-tick risk control point. Okay, which will give you an idea, guys. Normally, if these guys are like really, really keen to reverse, again, like we did last time, they'll go 10, 15, 20, 30 ticks or so in our favor. In this case here, they've gone within a whisker of our risk control point. Now, again, we're back into 24,000. 24,000 will basically be the last line of defense. Guys, if we don't get caught at 24,000, then the buyers are going to try and push the market up and hunt stop losses. So we'll just be very, very careful what occurs here. All right, so at this stage with 5 seconds to go, the buyers are relatively strong on the candle, guys, but they've got caught again at 24,000. All right, volume on FDAX is now far too low to call a trade. That's far too low to call a trade. NASDAQ, I can't give you a new trade. Okay, I can't go long into 24,000. We've already got people short. We would want to make sure the sellers show themselves really quickly, guys. Otherwise, we're going to get a negative NASDAQ trade. Now, at this stage, everyone's got their stops in the right spot. No, we are going to go above 24,000, guys. So again, if you've gone short, guys, if you've gone short on that static bar reversal, right, ratios are perfect. It's gone 9 ticks towards the 10-tick target. That will be a negative trade. Guys, if you've taken a negative trade, that's okay. We'll simply go and get it back again, guys. That's what we do. Now, again, if we do start trending here, guys, so if we do get efficient candles on both markets simultaneously, if we do that, guys, then we're going to be joining the buyers. If the buyers push up, blow all their volume and come back down, we'll pick up a very, very big sell. It's a very, very big sell. So let's just watch what they're doing, guys. Again, me personally, guys, I've taken my trades for the day. I'm still sitting at the result I was sitting at before. So not too bad, guys, not too bad. Flip side being is we'll just wait for the next trade and we'll jump in and we'll go and see what we can make out of it. Now, guys, at this stage, the volume on the FDAX is too low to call a new trade. The flip side of calling a new trade is if the volume does climb on this candle. Guys, there is a short setting up here on the FDAX, guys, at 260. So what we're looking for, buyers on the stair step to push through to that 133 extension, which we suggested in the pre-brief they were going to push through to. What it ultimately means is we're looking to try and trade off these 76.8 Fibonacci's just here. Obviously, the buyers on the stair step, we're looking for a short here at 260. Okay, now, again, that's if you need another FDAX trade. Guys, we're starting to get a bit of volume returning back into the market, which is great. Okay, that's awesome. The flip side of that is if we do get the sellers selling down hard off the top of there, guys, a short at 260 back down to the upper OSR would be fantastic. Okay, now S&P 500 is now pushing through to the 141.4. The ultimate turning point, guys, for the S&P 500 traders to pick up a really, really wholesale reversal is actually this 161.8 extension up here. I've got no red diamond deltas short yet on NASDAQ. I've got no red diamond deltas on the S&P 500. Okay, let me just have a look here. FDAX. Guys, at this stage, the only trade, they're not going to come back down under these 78.6s. So the next trade for the FDAX traders is an R1 reversal. So next thing we're going to be watching for is, again, we're going to potentially, guys, tag that R1. I would be looking for the candle to definitely close under the R1, then look for the buyers to push up through it and then turn around and come back the other way. Is what I would personally be targeting. Now, for our guys, what have we got time-wise? So we're 25 minutes, guys. We're 25 minutes into the 25 minutes into the new hour already. So 23 minutes in. Climactic reversals. As at this point in time, the climactic reversals that are about to trigger on the NASDAQ and S&P are solely because we're pushing all-time highs. Right? Solely because we're pushing all-time highs. So what I would suggest at this stage, as you're looking for, if you're going to be trading after the session today, as you're going to be looking for static bar reversals on both the S&P 500 and NASDAQ simultaneously, or you would want these guys to push to a pivot. Now, Steve's long-range target, guys, is all the way up here. At this point in time, if we were looking for a really good reversal, guys, we would be looking for an R1 reversal on the NASDAQ. Okay, now, I don't think at this point in time, the S&P is a long way from that R1 reversal. Okay, now, let's just watch what's going on. So if there's any questions at all about anything that we've done today, we are trying to navigate really carefully in a really bullish day. As all of the deltas, for those that trade the black diamond deltas, like these ones just here, okay, those that trade the black diamond deltas, we were talking about trading those deltas once the candle closed. That went quite well. And then another of you traded that delta long, guys. Once they sold down and picked up those SPRs on the left-hand side, then a number of you grabbed the delta long. Now, I didn't call that delta, guys, so I won't put a circle on it. But again, these deltas over here were again, pretty straightforward for most traders. No new trades, guys. No new trades on the FDAX at this stage. If you were long, so it was young. We had one of the traders long, guys, down here. Who was that before? Picked up 16. That was you, Christian. Guys, you can see here the turn of the hour trade. So the turn of the hour trade, Christian's been taken out at 16, which is a really brilliant trade. But notice what they've done. They've gone back to the upper OSR, then closed over it, then gapped, and then just started running. Because that turn of the hour trade, if you can get on the right side of that trade and hold it for as long as possible, you will normally end up with a really great trade just like that there. So guys, any questions at all? Any questions at all? Cody's taking you for coaching tonight, guys. It's on psychology, guys, which will be, again, it's just worth its weight in gold, guys. I will be in there to say good day. Suzanne, we've had a good session. There's no question about that. We've obviously, again, for anyone that went short on the NASDAQ, again, if you were following, again, the 10-tick target and risk control point, they've only gone 9 ticks in our favor. So that I'll class that as a losing trade. We've had a bank of winning trades here. We've had a number of people leave the trading room who are already over their daily KPI. I'm on my lower KPI at this point in time. But again, today is a pretty big day. So running all these things simultaneously. So I'm happy with that. I'm nicely green. I'll come back tomorrow and no doubt be a little bit greener. And I've got more trading sessions on tonight as well. So that's yeah, there's more of an opportunity to see what these guys do. As now the tip I'll give everybody, guys, is if you want to pick the absolute ultimate reversal, guys, the ultimate reversal will be on the 60-minute, on the hourly turn. All right. So if you get a lovely 60-minute chart static bar reversal short, guys, that's when you're going to see the NASDAQ maybe move down, you know, a couple of hundred ticks before the institutions grab it and send it back the other way. That's what we're looking at this stage. So guys, thank you to everybody. Thank you for all the thank yous. What are we sitting at, guys? Currently 13 August. So tomorrow night, guys, we're going to be with TTP, which is always good fun. There is some pretty heavy news, guys, that we do need to pay attention to tomorrow night. So let me just grab that. Let me just grab that for you. The news that we need to pay most attention to tomorrow, as apart from the Australian unemployment figures, which I have a sneaking suspicion, guys, are not going to be very good, just quietly. The big ones tomorrow night, guys, we've got the US core PPI and unemployment claims. Now, I suggest those figures in the US are going to be really positive, guys, like really buoyant for the market. And I reckon we're going to go even higher than where we are right now. So for those that are trading with us tomorrow night, 9:30 p.m. Tokyo time tomorrow night, you've got your red flag news announcements. Tomorrow in the European Open, guys, we're pretty flat news wise. again, but I do think we're going to get a negative employment rate out of Australia. I think that's going to drag the Asian session a little bit. Guys, I certainly think it's going to drag the Aussie dollar down a little bit. But apart from that, guys, all is obviously very positive in the crypto front, very positive in the index front. And guys, we'll come back tomorrow and do the whole thing again. So guys, I hope you're positive today. I certainly am positive. Akito's positive. She ran away after the first 3 NASDAQ trades, and she's done and dusted. And guys, we'll come back tomorrow. We'll do it all again. So I hope you are well wherever you are in the world. Thank you for your questions. Thank you to YouTube for all of the questions, guys. That's a very, very powerful little tool, that one. And guys, I'll see you in coaching with Cody in around 30 minutes from now. For those that are coming along to coaching, it is definitely worth, guys, again, revisiting psychology over and over and over again, guys. So I'll see you in coaching. How about that? Well, guys, have a great night. Well done to everybody. And I will see you very soon. Bye for now, guys. Bye, bye, bye.